Well, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo and Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally, and I mean literally, does not work. Let's get open for business here and let's wake up those football gods. Wake up there, fellas. Man, it is hump day. It is the middle of the week, and here we are with some more breaking news in the NFL. The NFL is losing another quarterback. Phillip Rivers, after 17 years, is retiring from football. That now makes him, as well as Drew Brees, is expected to be retired as well. And I'm assuming it may be a little bit premature, but I think that Big Ben is probably milling over whether or not he's going to come back for another year or not. And this ends up being the problem for NFL teams. NFL teams, there's a lot of teams that say, we do not have that guy. I've had discussions with friends and trolls and people and all that. They go through and say, you can't overpay a quarterback. You're better off letting him walk. Well, I hate to say it, you can't win without having a quality quarterback as well. Now, if anything, I've had, like I said, discussions with people that tell me I'm an idiot, and that's probably true. I am probably an idiot. But they'll say, you can't look at Dak Prescott and Deshaun Watson because Deshaun Watson is so much better. I've never said that Dak Prescott's better than Deshaun Watson. I've never said Deshaun Watson is better than Dak Prescott. I believe actually what I've said is, you look at their numbers, they're pretty much the same. Playoffs, they're both 1-2 in the playoffs. Dak has more victories, and so on. So I mean, you can look at their careers, and people are saying that Dak's not the answer, and saying that look at his last 24 games and how the team that they lost. And I kind of say you forget to put in an equation the defense, but be that as it may, the same people are saying look at Dak's last 24 games. If you're going to use that, then why are you saying trade for Deshaun Watson, whose team was 4-12 this past season? You can't have it both ways, and you can't keep moving the goalposts. But be that as it may, beyond just the Dallas Cowboys, there's a lack of quarterbacks. Can we at least say that much? Because there's a lot of teams. I've gone through, just off the top of my head, and I can think of about 14 teams that really need a better solution at quarterback. And in fact, what I did this morning was I said, teams needing quarterbacks. And I came across this article right here. And I want to go through this article and stuff. One of the ones they have on here, I would probably take off the list, at least temporarily, but look at adding a few more. So if we go down here, let's go down through here. Teams that need a quarterback. As much as Cowboy fans say, forget Dak, let him go. There were word yesterday that the Denver Broncos might be interested in getting Andy Dalton. If you view us not having Andy Dalton not being the answer, other teams look at that and say, Andy Dalton might be an improvement over what we have. And as much as we see other teams that are like, if you don't want Dak Prescott, hey, we'll be more than happy to. One team in particular, the Washington football team. Washington, Alex Smith should be comeback player of the year. Great story, incredible story. But the reality is, as they say, your best ability is your availability. And you can't look very far into the future with Alex Smith. The Chicago Bears, another interesting rumor that Mitch Trubisky would be coming to the Dallas Cowboys as a backup quarterback. Okay. The Chicago Bears, desperate to get a franchise quarterback, traded up one position for Mitch Trubisky just a couple of years ago. That wasn't working out, so they said, let's go get Nick Foles. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. We'll pay him some money. Neither of those options have worked out. So you look at the Chicago Bears on the list. Can't argue with that. Jaguars, Gardner Minshew. it was interesting there. It was hot for a while and all that, but yeah, they're definitely need a quarterback. The New York Giants. Um, I won't say they have to get a quarterback right now, but you have to look at Daniel Jones, Danny Dime Store, and say it's not doing real good. So you got to be looking and saying we need to at least get a veteran that can help teach this guy, or we need to think about another direction. And this year will be the hot seat year for him. Okay. And then you got the Jets, who, again, another one of those teams that traded up to get a quarterback because they said, we've got to get one. Josh Allen, 2 years in, has been ruined. They need a quarterback. Denver Broncos, like we talked about, they're thinking, of course, hey, maybe Andy Dalton can help us. As we go down further, Cleveland Browns, this one I'd say, nah, Baker played well. They're more of a running team than anything else. The Browns technically have 2 more years to evaluate Baker Mayfield, but they would be forced to commit that second year of his offseason, and it costs about $25 million guaranteed to do so. Besides, if you're asking if he's the guy in year 3, the answers might be no. This article might have been done a little while ago. I would say the Browns may be okay on quarterback. There's some with San Francisco, hard to believe that they were in the Super Bowl last year, and they're thinking about possibly cutting. After this season, there's only $2.8 million in dead money left on Jimmy Garoppolo's deal, so they have options to go ahead and get rid of him. So here's the thing with Jimmy Garoppolo: you can let him go, and you don't have to pay that $26.9 million, and you only have $3 million of dead money. I got to say that Jimmy Garoppolo will probably be cut, and they'll be looking to do something different. And you may see them decide, let's see if we can get up a little higher to get one of those quality quarterbacks. New England, who I got to say, Bill Belichick did that Jedi mind trick on everybody that thinks that, oh, New England is trash. New England decided that we're going to go ahead and let these guys take a redshirt year. You go out and heal, relax yourself, because they, my friends, have $52 million of cap space, have high draft picks that higher than they've had in the last, 20 years. And they'll be able to be a player in free agency, and they will be getting an influx of talent of all those players who sat out this year. Look for New England to go make a big move. And I wouldn't be surprised if New England was one of those teams that decided, let's go for Deshaun Watson. Pittsburgh Steelers. Got to put Pittsburgh on there because, let's face it, Big Ben, as the season went on, started going downhill and just did not seem to have it anymore. And at this point, you got to say it's time to start over. And then on the list, finally, they have Indianapolis Colts, who have Jacoby Brissett on the last year of his deal at $21 million and Phillip Rivers on $25 million. That's one less quarterback that's in the kitty. So if you're counting all of these teams right here, I'll also add on to that list, I'll say you could look at the Raiders that aren't exactly satisfied with Derek Carr. They do have Marcus Mariota, but I'm not sure that that's the answer. I'll even say that Carolina may want to upgrade what they have as far as quarterback. And I will also say that the Atlanta Falcons may look at letting Matty Ice go and starting all over with a rebuild and seeing if they can trade somebody. Now, with the coach that they hired, you think that he would end up staying. However, if one of these teams that are truly quarterback needy, wows you, you may look at saying, we need to start all over. And I'll put in the Detroit Lions as well with Matthew Stafford, who has been there for quite a while and is starting all over, that they may decide, here's a chance to get as much as we can as far as compensation. So if you're one of these quarterback needy teams, you either have the draft or you have one of the quarterbacks that are out there. Free agency wise, If Dak Prescott isn't signed by the Dallas Cowboys, he becomes probably the biggest free agent in the history of football. If Kirk Cousins could get the first, guaranteed contract, at the time, highest paid contract in the history of the NFL, you can guarantee that Dak Prescott, for a lot of these needy teams, would be the guy. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys would let him go. I just don't, but I could be wrong on that one. For whatever reason, they just don't seem to get this deal done. If you're one of the other guys and you're not in that top 5 pick, chances are you're not getting probably one of the premier ones. You're going to be taking a flyer on one of the ones that are considered that next level and hope that you get Jesus in a jug. The other option is you try and make a trade for one of the quarterbacks that may be a possibility, and that's Deshaun Watson. That could be Matthew Stafford, and that could be Matty Ice. Other than that, there are no great options. That's it in a nutshell. And so as Cowboy fans, some of us that'll say Dak's not the answer, as I look around the landscape of the NFL, then who the hell is? There's a lack of quarterbacks in the NFL. That's a fact. And there's a lot of teams that are going to be paying a heavy price. So when you say, you can't spend a lot of money on a quarterback, here's the reality. It's supply and demand. And when there is a lack of supply, the price goes through the roof because the demand is definitely there. So here we are, guys. The Dallas Cowboys, it'll be interesting to see. We basically have about a month from now that we should have some kind of movement on the Dak Prescott situation, because it'll be the end of February that you have to put a franchise tag on a player to hold the rights. If you do not put a franchise tag on them, they are a free agent. And that's where we sit with Dak Prescott. So we've got about a month left of time for the Cowboys to either get a long-term deal done or to tag Dak. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. All right, y'all. I got work to do in the workshop and stuff today. We got some more packages we got to get out to you, the fans. And, of course, we're going to see what we're going to see. So far, we haven't heard any word about the interview from Kellen Moore with the Eagles, but we do know that the Eagles are interviewing everybody. I better check my email. They might have called me up, too. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Be safe out there, and it's hump day.